They beaten your ass in the quote retweets. They beaten your ass in the quote retweets.
We're trying some off-brand kombucha tonight. It is okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Happy Black Legends, and thank you so much for clicking on the channel. Yes, so let's talk. I was actually originally only going to be discussing this on my new and exclusive podcast, Vocast, available now to my YouTube members and my patrons. If you are interested in becoming either one of those things, you can find out more about that in the link below. Also, while you're there, why don't you just subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, follow me on all my socials. I'm amazing, point blank period. But anyways, let's get into this topic. Honestly, this is just so fucking messy, and there's so much that I want to say about this topic, like publicly, right here, right now. Let's just jump in. So you guys might have noticed that Charli Xcx was trending on Twitter. Can I just say, I love Twitter. It is terrible, but I love it. I love Twitter. This is terrible, but honestly, I would love to trend once. Just once. I don't need to trend all the time. I don't need it to happen more than once. But if I ever make the trending page on Twitter, good or bad, it's going in the header. It's going in the Twitter header. Like, I love Twitter. Anyways, you might have been wondering, why is the boom to clap girl, wrong boom clap, why is she trending on Twitter? Well, let me tell you something. Charli Xcx has been releasing singles in anticipation of her new album coming out later this month. Actually, in like less than 2 weeks. Well, not less than 2 weeks. 2 weeks and some change. Her new album, Crash, which, hello, I am super excited about. And I just want to give you guys some background on these singles, on sort of the tea that's been happening in Stan Twitter within, the Charli Xcx fans.
They beaten your ass in the quote retweets.
Charlie's Angels, as they're called. Because there's been some conversation going on. So if you guys don't know this, Charli Xcx has been known as, como se dice, a pioneer of the hyperpop genre. What is hyperpop, you ask? I would describe it as where pop and electronic and in some cases shit posting meet in one glorious acid trip. It's definitely not a genre for everyone. It is a genre that I happen to love. However, I also really like pop music. I love girly, let's go to Forever 21, shopping at the mall, bubblegum, pink, girl pop music. Like, I love that kind of music. If it's good, I like it, if the music has got a beat and it makes me tap my feet and it gives me heat, bitch, we streaming. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be good. Not me sweating off my nasty ass crusty makeup. Anyways, Charli Xcx has been getting some flack for her singles because they've been leaning less away from hyperpop and more into pop. In my opinion, honestly, even though the singles are different than hyperpop, I've liked most of the singles. The first single she released was Good Ones. She released that sometime around fall of 2021. I liked that song. That song ended up becoming one of my most streamed songs of 2021. I only let the good ones go. That song makes me want to break into a slaughterhouse and release like a bunch of cows. Anyways, I love that song. The next song she released was New Shapes featuring Caroline Polachek and Christine and the Queens, which C cubed. Caroline Polachek is one of my favorite artists. I've seen her live. Well, I like her. I wouldn't say she's one of my, well, I really like her music, but Christine and the Queens is actually like, she might be one of my favorite singers. Christine and the Queens is just, oh, I saw her live. I gave her my pansexual flag. She looked into my eyes. I love what you just saw was pure gay panic. I love Christine and the Queens. She is my French queen. I love Christine and the Queens. I love Christine and the Queens. I love Christine and the Queens. And when it was announced that they were all three on one song, you can only imagine my excitement. Like I said, I've seen Christine and the Queens live. I've seen Caroline Polachek live. I'm waiting to see Charli XCX live. If we ever get out of this pandemic, which I do not think we will. This kombucha, it's good. I mean, it's okay. What I think is wild is they call this bold. Darling, this is a fart of a kombucha. I liked New Shapes, which was the single released with Caroline Polachek and Christine and the Queens. In fact, dare I say I loved New Shapes. Christine's verse when she's like, all right, baby, new ways, we can fall in love in new shape. It gives me, it literally, and in the music video, I literally feel like a K-pop stan. Like, I literally feel like I feel like one of those girls in those videos you see of like Michael Jackson or like the Beatles performing and they're like fainting and shaking. That's how I feel about Christine and the Queens. Like, oh, she makes me feel so. Anyways, I'm literally sweating. Woo! Anyways, I liked that song. Then came Beg For You. Which, this was such a shocking disappointment. And honestly, I talked about this in my podcast, but I was going to film a music reaction. But because I'm a greedy whore, I couldn't wait any longer to listen to the song. So I just listened to it. Thank fuck God I did not film a music reaction. I feel like the music reaction would have been even worse because I would have waited like 10 more hours to listen to the song, and me sitting just imagining what a song by two of my favorites would sound like, and then get home after working a double shift working in customer service to get home and then turn on Tidal Music, Beyonce's streaming app, and hear what is Beg For You. It really would have made me, it would have done something to me. Like, honestly, we did not need to film a music reaction. Beg For You is horrible, and it's so surprising because Rina Sawayama is in it, and I love Rina Sawayama, and I love Charli XCX. This song is terrible, and I don't mean just like casually bad. I think this song is tragically terrible. Like, this song makes my ears like fold into themselves like a quesadilla. Like, the capacity I have for this song is none. If this song, and it's funny because Charli XCX, I love Charli XCX and I love Rina Sawayama. So this song comes up in a lot of my like radio playlists and I'm always like, oh God, no. Like, I physically cannot handle this song. It's so annoying. It sounds like, it just feels like I'm being punched in the brain. And I know you guys are thinking like I'm being really dramatic, but like that's honestly how I feel listening to the song. Like, I truly hate this song. Like, I think it's such a bad song. Like, honestly, it's like, it's so annoying. That one note she hits when she's like, another hour or two. I'm like, Charli, this is not the tea. Anyways, so fans have been feeling more and more disappointed by Charli XCX not delivering the hyperpop tracks that they want, and instead giving us nostalgic 80s, 90s. I like the songs. However, are they innovative? Are they groundbreaking? Are they memorable? No. Are they even in my top 10 tracks that I would say for Charli XCX? No. Is it a good sign for what's to come with her album? No. Personally, for me, I like versatility in my musicians. I like to see the people that can flip the switch and give me a different genre on a different day of the week. I live for that. So I don't mind the genre bending. I don't know. I think there are some fans who are genuinely upset that Charli XCX is not giving us hyperpop, like boom, 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 loud music. I think some people are mad about that. But I also think there's some people who just don't like the music because it's just not as good as some of her other music. And honestly, that's just the truth. And recently, Charli XCX came out with a new track called Baby. I was really nervous to listen to Baby because, in my opinion, with each single released, there's been a decrease in quality. I don't know. Well, I really like New Shapes, but also I think I just like New Shapes so much because of Christine and the Queens. Like, I just literally love Christine and the Queens. Like, she is... she is. End of sentence. But I like Baby. The intro was very, like, late 90s, early 2000s. I was like, oh, it's very cute. I think it'll do good. And I think there are some fans that do worry that Charli XCX is trying to become more mainstream. She's trying to appeal more to TikTok. And I think that's some fans' concerns. Overall, my opinion is this. I like genre hopping. I don't mind when my faves genre hop, as long as it sounds good, I like 3 out of the 4 singles that have been released so far. Do I think they are the best Charli XCX songs? No. Am I still going to listen to her new album? Yeah. Comment down below if you guys would be interested in a review or reaction of Crash. Anyways, today, Charli XCX definitely had a bit of a car crash on Twitter. She literally got into it with a fan. That's like too long, don't read. Charli XCX straight up started beef, impossible, with a fan. So the fan tweeted, first of all, their username, their Björk fan, Anna Virgo. This bitch is a fucking icon, okay? These Charli singles so far, not doing it for me whatsoever, but she's still in my mother list. And then they posted a really funny fucking meme of Demi Lovato. And Charli XCX replied to this person. Now, okay. I don't know if this screenshot is true. Okay, this could be a joke. But it says, bitch, bye. I will never understand what possesses people to be such cunts online. I don't know if that's a real screenshot, but it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's alarming. This is something that won't matter to a lot of people, but this matters a lot to me. Honestly, like, this is so wild, and there's just so much to say about this entire situation. So Charli XCX replies to this fan with, okay, I'm not mad. Promise. I just find the commentary so interesting, so I had to dip into Stan world for a sec. To me, this is undeniably my most coherent era. Like, obviously, whether you like it or don't, I don't care, but it is cohesive and consistent. Again, we don't have the full tea. We don't have the full album. So maybe this album is really consistent. What I can say about the singles is consistent in sound, no. Consistent in vibe, no. I would say, in my opinion, something that's consistent about these singles is the fact that they all sound like songs that come from a specific decade. Maybe except Beg For You. Like, Good Ones sounds like an 80s aerobics class song, and then New Shapes sounds like an 80s rock pop kind of song, but like with a modern twist, of course. And then Beg For You just sounds like a mess. And then Baby, I would say Baby has kind of like a 90s, early 2000s turn of the century R&B pops kind of sound, in my humble opinion. So I would say maybe that's where they're consistent. So in my opinion, Ms. XCX, I'm gonna have to disagree with your claim to consistency. But you know, I don't have the album, mama. You do. So, and it just gets worse and worse because Charli XCX didn't reply once or twice. Charli XCX wrote an entire, like, dissertation in this person's comments. I respect this stan, like, so much. Because I consider myself bold sometimes. I consider myself... Like, I would do this with some people. With if Charli XCX was in my mentions after I said her song was bad, I don't know how I would honestly react. But this person has honestly won the biggest balls award of 2022. Like, in my opinion, this is so bold. This is so awesome. Virgo energy on fleek. Do y'all remember On Fleek? Anyways. So they reply to Charli XCX and they say the only thing consistent about it is how underwhelming it is, to be honest. But yes, still love you and your music overall. That is so, like, oh, and then Charli XCX tweeted again. Also, again, not bothered that some people will always have their preferred eras, etc. That's why it's fun being an angel. There's so much variety. But if you don't think Baby is a bop, then I don't know. That's just very suspicious to me. Honestly, that sums up the overall feelings I have about Ms. XCX's words and actions today. Like, you're saying that people are suspicious for not liking your music? I'm sorry, it's so funny. And there's been, like, multiple unhinged Charli XCX moments. Like, when Beg For You came out, she was, like, begging people to stream it. And she was like, yeah, this might be a basic pop song, but if you guys stream it, I can take over the pop charts and turn the pop charts into the Hyperpop charts. And I was like, girl, this is kind of cringy. And she's like, don't worry, I still love you, but I'm not gonna let you talk without saying my shit too. And I'm like, Charli, just go count your money. You're bored. And Charli tweeted a picture of the visuals from this era. And again, I think this era is clearly pulling on some, like, 80s tropes and that kind of vaporwave, new wave vibe. Like, and we live, but visuals is not the only thing that goes into an era. You know, and I think it's weird that I think it's weird that Charli XCX chose to stay on this person's ass and and that she chose to like come after this person, because there are people who have said way meaner things. There are people who, I mean, maybe some of y'all maybe consider what I've said to be meaner. This was like the worst in my opinion. Like, this is the one that actually caused me like psychic damage. Like, this is the one where I was like, okay, this has to be a public video. This is the interaction where I was like, oh, this is not good. And she was like, oh, and finally, if you want to throw around midlife crisis, fucking throw it at me. I'm getting older. I'm getting hotter. My tits are stunning. I'm in great shape. I'm dancing. And I'm living my best life. And that's the tea. I was like, girl. This is not good. Like, this does not make you look good. This makes you look a little unhinged and a little desperate. Also, if you're saying this out loud, it sounds like you need reassurance of all these things. Like, when I read this, I genuinely felt a little bit bad for Miss Millionaire. Honestly, I read this and was like, ooh. I don't know. There's darkness behind these words. When I called you mother, I meant you're like a supreme. Not old, I promise. Like, oh, Charli, they beating your ass in the quote retweets. Like, this is what that is, period. Oh, and to answer another interesting theory below, no, I'm not being forced down. It's totally my choice and one of the most liberating and fun decisions I've made. I noticed that Charli Xcx has been dancing a lot lately, and people have been making jokes that Warner Music is forcing Charli to dance for the TikToks. Listen, I'm not going to comment on that. I agree with Charli. Dancing is liberating. Movement, freely expressing your body is so liberating. Why do you think the church wanted to ban it for so long? Like, I'm not just gonna blindly support somebody just because I like their music. Like, if they make trash music, I'm gonna comment on it. And I'm like, go off. Because, like I said, I hated Chromatica. And people came after me. And I'm like, I can't make my ears like it. Like, I streamed Beg For You for, like, I think I streamed Beg For You a total of, like, 3 or 4 times in a row. Like, trying to force my brain to like it. And girl, it didn't sound good. My brain was like, no, mama, we don't like this. It's trash. And I think it's so weird that stans act like you can't like someone and not like something they do. And this is why I hate stan culture. It is literally like blind worship. It is the shit that God warned us about in the good old book. Like, I don't even know God like that, but girl, y'all literally look like how they did in the Bible, worshiping this golden calf. You look wild on the outside looking, and like, you do not look like you've got it all together. You look like you're about to miss a few steps going up the stairs, you know? And I just found it really cringy, and I just hated how Charli kept being like, love you though. I just exposed you to all my fans, but thanks for streaming my music. Like, I'm, like, don't hate me. Like, relatable queen. And then she tweeted, like, oops, that was funny. Again, like, this whole thing was theater. It was entertaining. It was funny. However, there's also a lot of, like, not so good things about this. Should a celebrity be exposing an everyday person like this to their millions of fans? I'm gonna say something a lot of people don't agree with, okay? as a public figure, as a queer, black, vegan public figure who oftentimes speaks on political and social issues and throws their entire pussy into it, I garner all sorts of comments. I've gotten all sorts of DMs. I've gotten some of the most vile, racist, like, just fucked up shit, especially during 2020. Like, that was a really bad time. But most would say that because I have the platform, I should not post these people's usernames. I disagree. I completely disagree. Here's how I feel about it. If you are going to publicly post some bullshit on my public page, I have the right to share it with the public. I honestly feel that way. And I know that's very controversial, and I get why people don't like that, because again, like, it is a person with a platform going against someone who did not agree to be in the public eye. So I understand why people feel that way, but that's how I feel. I think if you're gonna talk shit, stand behind your shit. Now, here's the thing. In Charli Xcx's case, this person wasn't being, like, bigoted or violent or even really hateful. They just said, I don't like the new singles. And Charli went ham, girl. Tofurkey. All up on this poor bitch's ass. And it's kind of like, it doesn't look good. It just looks weird. Like, why are you doing that? Like, it's not a good look, you know? Comment down below what you guys thought about this entire situation. Comment down below your opinions on Charli's new singles, on celebrities and influencers clapping back and publicly and doing this kind of shit. I would love to know what you guys think about this. This whole situation has it's made me laugh, it's made me wonder, it's made me think, it's made me ponder, it's made me do a lot of things. This kombucha's terrible. This entire Twitter interaction was what it was. I'm not gonna lie, this made me cringe at Charli Xcx, but it also made me kind of go, wow, she's wild. Like, I just thought this was very funny. But I also felt really bad for Ms. Virgo, but also, bitch stood her ground. Bitch held her own. And we love to see it. She's honestly an inspiration. She inspired me to just put on this makeup. It looks bad, but you know what? I'm standing my ground. I'm out here doing it. And what about it? Anyways, y'all, I'm going to get going. As always, thank you so much for watching. A huge motherfucking thank you to my YouTube members, to my patrons. I have really been trying to step it up, pump out more content, try new things, mess around with my channel, update how it looks. I've really been investing more time and some more money in some cases on improving this channel, because I realized that I really want my channel to grow, and I really want my channel to become self-sustaining, and I want to make content that matters. I want to make all kinds of content, and I want to like inspire people, and I want to bring conversations to the table that people are not having, and I also want to have fun, and I want to entertain, and I love having a YouTube channel because it allows me to be creative. It allows me to speak on really important issues. It allows me to do and be so many things at once. And I think that that is so cool. And I realized that I really want this channel to become something bigger than I can even dream of now. And that's going to require work. So I've really been trying to work hard, and I think it's paying off. So if you are interested in making my dreams come true, consider subscribing. Anyways, y'all, I'm gonna get going. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons, to my YouTube members, and my subscribers for your endless support. And as always, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, y'all. Bye.